Now let's meet with Henry. And hello, Henry.
How are you?
I'm well. Welcome to the live stream. And I don't know that if you can see comments.
I do
Okay.
not.
I have moderators here. I wasn't sure what you saw on your end. I if I were to display, sorry for the confusion, everybody. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's a comment, a question for you, and ciao to that individual. If there is a comment or question, I'll show you, and I'll probably say it out loud because this is also a podcast, and then we'll look at your answer. So, tell me what's going on. You play online slots.
Yes. I've been playing for about 2 years, and I've been playing daily. Uh, I've played in all the major social casino platforms, as well as I've even dabbled with some of the Bitcoin casinos with questionable legalities. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend those. The vast majority of my experience is on the social casinos like Dumba, Lucky Land, McLock, and a host of others.
Let me edit your microphone settings so that you're a little louder. Say something.
Hello?
Okay. I've turned it up all the way, and we'll hope for the best on this. Okay. So, because much of this is state law, what state do you gamble in?
I'm in Virginia right now.
Yep. So that's good to know. Let's see. What else do I want to ask you? I have a couple of your images. I just want to give them to everybody and show them to everybody so that they can see what Henry's been doing. Let's see here.
Bear in mind, these are all in just the past week. What I've sent to you.
Yeah. Well, I remember, a year and a half ago, you showed me a bunch of these, and I knew that you were doing this. But this is, not meant to be comprehensive so much as showing that you're quite serious about it. Can you see any of this?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. I'm going to go back to the first one. This one. So this is at Chumba Casino.
Yes.
And you won what? $3,467. 3,200.
In that particular, yeah, that hit was a $3,200 hit. That's just what you see up top there was the total balance that I had at that time. So I mean, you can see that I was getting pretty low in my bankroll, for the level that I was playing at when that finally came through.
Okay, now how does this 3,200 relate to dollars?
So it is dollar for dollar. One SC is equivalent to one US dollar.
Okay, and my understanding is that with Chumba Casino, if your state allows it, it's SC is dollar for dollar. But if you're in another state which doesn't where it isn't legal, then it's not money.
Yeah, I mean essentially, but you also have gold coin options that you can play, for free, and the non-real money option is for those people if they want to play. But yeah, if you want to play for real money prizes, then you do have to be able to play with the sweep coins. That's what the SC means, sweep coins.
Okay. And let's see, we're on the second one. A
That's
60.
Lucky Land.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what was the name of it?
Lucky Land.
Lucky Land. Okay. Thank you. And This is your redemption request, 8,664. Again, I'm just trying to tell everybody, this is real money. It's getting to your bank in 3 to 7 business days. And Chumba. Okay, so I'll stop sharing that. But what I'm trying to do here is show everybody, you're serious about it.
Yeah, it's been pretty serious lately,
Yep.
and not just lately. I mean, the entire time I've been playing, I've taken this seriously. You see the size of those wins. Now, obviously, part of playing an online slot is that to be able to hit like that with any type of regularity, you do need to spend quite a bit of money. That's just the basis of how the online slot platforms work. Uh, you you set yourself up for the best wins um, relative to the size that you play and the amount of money you've actually spent. Not necessarily in that very moment, but in your recent play history. Not all time. If you've lost money over time, that's not going to help you. But by spending a lot of money in the short term, you set yourself up to be able to play at that level, and that's where a lot of that comes from.
Okay, and is there any information you'd be willing to share for like how much you spend a month and how much you make a month, roughly, just to give people an idea if it's $10 or 1 million?
Um, okay, I'll tell you this. In just my uh, Skrill account. Now, Skrill is a online bank account that partners with a lot of these online casinos, and they give you a point for bankroll cycling. For every dollar you bankroll cycle, it means every dollar you spend into a casino and every dollar that you get redeemed from a casino. And just over the past month, with just that Skrill account, doesn't count all the money that went into my bank account and other accounts that are involved in all this. But I've cycled more than I make in a year in just the past few weeks.
Okay, that
Considerably
is
more.
good. This is, pricking people's ears. Two parts of what you just said, which was you're cycled more in the last few weeks than you have your income for the year elsewhere, but also that you really kind of have to be a banker to have the correct accounts set up. It sounds like that's some interesting information. You should start a YouTube channel.
Well,
Or not.
that was a thought of mine. I know that I talked about that with you a little bit. I think that the online uh, YouTube platform that more people talk about these things is really lacking. I have yet to find anybody who actually understands how these games are working and able to give any real useful advice.
Hey, you're talking to the
Now,
right person. I just had a comment on YouTube about, how is this? I never heard of any such thing, and why do people talk about this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm the one that gets the reporters. If when you look at building a YouTube channel, you are looking to be unique. Those are the people that grow. If you're going to do a Minecraft gaming channel, good luck. There's just a million of them out there. Being able to stand out is very hard. So, from my point of view of the uniqueness of what I provide, I was able to build a channel out of it, and I think you could too. And you'll probably get some of the similar things that I've gotten, where none of this is true, and it's like, do you know math? No. Okay. I don't know how to respond to that. All right. So There is an opportunity. I would say, as a professional doing this, there is an opportunity there for you. Some of the early things that I went through is, should I even share any of this? Do I want to share any of this? I get emails from people that are saying, "Shh, shh, stop, stop, keep it down. We don't want you to talk about it."
Right, don't give away the golden goose.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, well, what I do is I teach. That's what I'm good at. And you may need to come to a conclusion on that. Either way, fine by me, and it's probably your decision point at this point. So that's all the good news. Tell us the bad news.
Well, okay, so, and I think this is where you had the idea to have me on your show when I told you that I'd be on the verge of getting banned from, not from Chumba. I don't think that they would ever ban me anytime soon, at least, but through Mick Luck, and I use that. I say Mick Luck, but it's really a series of casinos that are all related. They're essentially clones of each other. I think the primary one is Mick Luck, but then they have all the clone websites that uh, I've been, I guess, hitting a little too hard recently. Um,
You're winning
and
too much.
I was winning too much, but I think what really flagged them was not necessarily the win, but the amount of money that I was spending. So yes, I was turning a profit, and that would probably cause a flag. But um, there was also a lot of money that was being spent to essentially get them to pick out some big wins for me. And I was doing this not just in one website. Essentially, I was doing it in all of them. And I believe it was probably the hopping that might have gotten their attention. I mean, you would think that a single website and the way that they work would be glad for you to spend, a couple $5,000-6,000 in the course of maybe 2 or 3 days, because those websites do have protections against you from making or allowing you to endlessly stack money. So you can't just go into a casino and think you're just going to go on a winning streak for any period of time and just stack and stack and stack. That's not how it works. Um, but I was kind of taking advantage of the fact that they were using multiple platforms, all of them essentially the same as one another. They did
As
not
you
pick
should.
me up.
As you should.
Right,
These are winning strategies for online slots, and they don't have to
right.
like it.
Well, what they ended up doing is they didn't kick me out. They did two things. They made me verify that my bank accounts that I was actually spending with to make sure that my money was legit, which it was. And then what they did was they placed me on a spending limit. So they're trying to keep me as a player, but cut me off at the hip. Is essentially what they've done.
Uh,
I don't think that
so have you been banned? I know we talked about this like a week ago, and it may not have been resolved yet. Were you banned?
I don't. No, I haven't been fully banned. They just placed me on a spend limit, so I can't spend more in one day than the largest uh, coins package they have available, and it varies between websites. It could be $1,000 in one, $300 in another, whatever their largest coin package is. That's my spend limit in that website, so that I can't just dump a bunch of money in there to get them to respond. You know
So
what I mean?
they've limited you.
So they are trying to cut me off at the hip, but yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, is this going to
And
change your
I
approach?
don't
Or
think that
you
it's going to stop me from being able to win.
okay?
Well, it
Is
has
it
to
going
change
to
the approach.
go ahead?
Yeah, yeah. I have to change my approach, but what it does is it slows me down more than anything. It doesn't necessarily take away from my ability to win, but I have to. It has to be spaced out a little better. Again, it's the amount of money that you've spent in the recent past that plays a big role with what kind of odds you're going to get. And that might go back, a couple of weeks. So I'd say anything beyond whatever you won or lost 2 weeks before, don't think that if you spent $5,000 over the course of a month, well, you might have lost, $2,500, but by the time they finally actually turn the winning back up for you, but if you lose a lot of money over a very short period of time, say just a day or two, and then go back in a little bit later, they tend to give you a winning streak, and that's what I've been uh, utilizing.
So what you're talking about is strategy.
Yeah.
And so people, I imagine they're going to be like, so what are you doing? And from what I'm hearing, and I don't mean to give away any secrets, is if you're in a winning period and it's not your luck, it's what that online casino is doing. Once you get into a winning streak, you just bet.
Not exactly. What I do is I try to satisfy their algorithms enough so that they will allow me to go on a winning streak, and then at that point you can take advantage. Um, and again, I'm not going to give away the golden goose entirely, but I think that just a basic foundational principle.
Yeah, but
there's a foundational principle, and I think this is important for anybody who plays who doesn't understand the game that they're playing, because I was in a situation shortly after you stopped with the slots IQ, and I wasn't meeting with you anymore. I went into a really bad situation, and I found myself essentially hemorrhaging money into these websites, and it really didn't matter what I was winning. It was all just getting poured right back in there, and I just was on a losing. I say losing streak, but I won a lot of money in that time, but I just gave it all back to them without regard, or thinking, oh, okay, eventually I'm going to hit even bigger, and it won't matter. Well, that's not what was happening. This is actually a very dangerous thing. If I was to recommend to anybody whether or not you should play online slots, I'm going to tell you don't do it. And the reason why I'm going to tell you don't do it is because you can't leave the casino. Once you start, you cannot leave the casino. It doesn't matter if the money's in my account or in your account. The casino is in your pocket. And so to have success is that you have to be willing to lose money. B, you have to be disciplined about it. And if you have impulse control issues, addiction issues, addiction is the game. That's the game that they're playing. That's what they're using against you. They know how much to give you in winning to keep you playing, to keep you coming back. And they're going to let you win just long enough so that you keep playing and then run yourself over a cliff in the process. And that's what happened. And I had to come to a hard realization as to what the foundation of all of these casinos were really doing.
Yeah, they're a business and they're good at it and they make a lot of money, so they get consultants to figure out how to do this. When I meet somebody on the street or wherever, and I say I'm Professor Slots, and they're like, well, I don't really gamble, and I'm like, I'm not trying to get you to gamble. There's the parking lot's full of people. The people that have already crossed that bridge are the ones I want to try to help. I'm not trying to get anybody to gamble, but some people do. So some people watching this play online slots and they're like, how do I get out of this? How do I get away? Is there anything I can, what knowledge is out there for me to like take a step back or be successful or something? And it can be, so I'm not trying to draw people in. I'm trying to offer them an interview with an online slots person who is, the validity of your experiences are shown by being concerned that people would start online gambling and then suddenly they don't have to go to the casino. It's in their pocket on their phone. and that's the
Exactly.
danger. Everybody, that's the danger expressed by an online slots person.
Yeah, success at online slots is not just about whether or not you can spend money, but it's about your impulse control. Um, the winning actually, I compare it to an intersect, a three-way intersect. Okay, the biggest wins are going to happen when the casino is hot, your account is hot, and the game is hot. Okay, now to get a win, to have some success, you really only need two of those to be working in your favor at any given moment. But the best runs that do happen from time to time are going to be at that three-way intersection. And most important thing is your account hot? Well, the question is, how do you make your account hot? Now, it's well known among online slot players that if you're new to a casino, you tend to have really good odds in that casino. And they'll let you go on a winning streak very early, and they might even let it last long enough to get you to build a habit of doing it, to think that you're doing something right, and then they pull the rug out from underneath you and let you give everything back. But the question is how do you keep your account hot? Well, there's really only two things. A, you spend a lot of money, and B, you wait time. You wait a certain amount of time. Now, how much you have to spend and how much you have to wait are they going to be related to each other? If you want to deposit $5 and walk away with $3,000, which has happened, I have done that. I've done that several times. Those are 3 or 4 months spread out, and that usually comes from avoiding a casino for a while and avoiding a game provider for a while, because the game providers are not exclusive to the casino. The game providers, when you go onto a game, you're going onto that provider's server, and your data and your progress is being saved with them. So they know how often you're playing, how much you're betting, and essentially they're trying to find different ways to personalize your experience. You're not really gambling when you play these games. What you're doing is you're buying wins. What you don't know is how much you're going to spend and how much the win is going to be. But it's not gambling. If you keep going long enough, it's going to give you back at least a portion of whatever it is that they've taken from you. Maybe they'll try to keep a percentage of that. But yeah, it's not exact that if you gamble $100, that you'll get 90 of it back. And what most people think of in terms of return, it doesn't happen that way actually, and it is a little more complex than that. That's why I say I don't want to tell people these things and make them think that, oh well, all I got to do is spend money and I'm going to start winning. No, there's a lot more to it than that, and I think that's why I thought about starting a panel, because there are different strategies and how to find the games, to know when they're hot, to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, because if you're not careful, again, I can't stress that enough. If you're not careful, you can find yourself in financial ruin with a gambling addiction that you don't know how to get out of, because the drug is always there in your pocket, and that's
absolutely.
the thing I want people to take away.
Absolutely, and one of the things I appreciate your understanding of the difficulties and concern people will have for going and playing online. There's you can stay away physically from a casino, but it's having it in your pocket is just such a different sort of thing. I did want to ask a question. One of the strategies of winning at casinos is you can see other people playing. Can you see the results of anybody else on the platform while you're there?
Yeah, some of them do. In fact, it's actually becoming a more common thing where they will have a thing, I don't know what you call it, of just a list of winning that'll run across the screen on a certain part of the website, and it's just like major win there,
Yeah,
huge
that's
multiplier there.
what I'm looking for is nobody's winning, and so don't play. The thing that online slots I believe doesn't provide is just the community of being around 100 people who are all kind of down in the dumps about nobody's winning, and in the casinos you play when others are winning, because that's what the casino is trying to get everybody excited and not leave. And you found a different way to apply that, and don't tell us because this is your information, but there is something else to watch for you being trying to trigger a winning session. And that's great. Please don't share the golden goose. If you want to do your own channel, we've talked about that. But yeah, I've warned people. People warn me about going to the casino and having instant pay options at the casinos. And let's talk about. Jake just said online slots are terrible. They are crooked. I'm convinced. And so, is there stuff online casinos that you would be like, no, don't go there. Don't go there. Is there any that you would say avoid?
I mean, there are definitely websites where it doesn't really seem to matter what I can do. They're just not looking to pay you out very much, if anything at all. They do exist. The major names are the ones you're going to want to stick to. Again, we'd be talking like Samba and Lucky Land, which are all a part of the same company. Then you have McLaughlin. It's partner site. Some of the others that I found to be pretty good were like Crown Coins. I mean, there's a list. I can't think of them all on the top of my head, and I'm still in the process of some of them. New ones are popping up all the time, and I'm still in the process of really trying to assess if they're a viable option. I know that Legends Casino is a new up and coming one. I've had some pretty good success with the Money Factory, but they seem to be slow to want to pay me because I think whereas normally I'm dumping money into some of these websites, on this particular one I spent very little and I've won a lot and I've done it 3 times, and I think it's just a timing issue as to why I keep winning so much. But they're making me wait 3 weeks for a cash out, whereas most will give it to you within 3 days. Most of the time, it's that same day that I get my cash out, but they're just kind of holding back. I wouldn't say that it's a scam. If you'll just humor me for a second, saying that online slots is a scam wouldn't be entirely accurate. If you want to play devil's advocate for just a moment, you have to understand that the difference between an online casino and a brick and mortar casino is you walk into a brick and mortar casino, you have maybe 1,000, 2,000 slot machines, and maybe a few hundred people at any given moment actually playing those slot machines. It's actually the inverse. You only have a few hundred games while you have a few thousand people playing all of those games. So if it was simply a matter of just kind of hanging around until the casino was hot, all the addicts that they created would rip them apart even over a 15, 20-minute period of time. So they have protections in place, and that's part of what you need to play too and understand when you go in there. They have protections in place to keep you from stacking money into it. So you have to anticipate it, and you have to make sure you don't give all your money back, because if you do give all your money back, if you want a lot, it can be very hard to overcome that, even in the future.
There's so much to unpack here. We could go for like another hour. But this, from what I'm thinking, my concern is for you, and I'm thinking about possibly a future YouTube channel if you wanted to do that. There's a lot of depth here. There's a lot of stuff you could talk about and explain to people. But it is hard to get monetized. Yet you also want to have a place where you're somewhat unique. It's your call. I may do my own exploring, or I may not. There's a lot to talk about with brick and mortar casinos, and that's what I wanted to focus on. There was a question Denise says online slots are running. I think she meant ruining many people's lives. Yeah, and apparently she's in Georgia, or no, Gambling Anonymous meetings, and 90% of the people telling their stories of financial ruin were with online casino addictions. Yeah. So again, I'm not trying to get anybody to play slots online, but plenty of people do. So let's give them some information that might get them out. Yeah, I'm sorry. You are hard to hear. Clinton says you are hard to hear. I'll see what I can do and to kind of fix the audio when they finish uploading this. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, well, Denise is absolutely right. I mean, this can push people to financial ruin just off of the addiction factor. I mean, their goal, the casino's goal, is to get you hooked. Everything they do is to keep you hooked and to get you to log in every single day. And
but
you know, there's
so is brick and mortar casinos. It's just that you actually physically have to drive there versus reach in your pocket, as you pointed out.
And yeah, and you know, their game is to get you addicted. And you know, a misconception a lot of people might have is to think, well, if I just keep playing enough, keep playing every single day, and you know, get enough spins, and eventually I'm going to get that big win. Well, no, actually, what's going to happen is that your odds are going to go down because you're exhibiting addict-like behavior. And they're not going to give you good odds because they know if they did that you would rip apart. So you have to be a little more methodical about how you win and how you lose, because you're going to have to lose in a certain way that makes it so that they don't want to lose you as a player, so they're going to give you what it is they're paying for, and that's essentially what's happening.
Congratulations on all your hard work making this happen. I again, don't play online slots, as you have said. But if that ship has sailed, people would be interested in hearing more from you. Apologize to everybody for the not the best audio. We've kind of worked on that, but you can actually hear him now, so it's a step forward. Someone had a question about, George had a question about online casinos can be tied to the state lottery, and the scratch-off ticket vending machine was one that was there one time they visited them. This was Virginia Hard Rock. My understanding is that the Chumba Casino is available in states that don't have casinos because they are using the rules for sweepstakes, also known as raffles. And that's the legality of it, why they are able to get into those states, and they keep track of what the current law is, and then shut it down or turn it to non-monetary wins. Everybody's saying I don't do online slots. Don't. Heck, don't even do casino slots. But if that ship has sailed, people need information. I hope that this has helped everyone to delve into this. I'll see if I add any more content on online slots. It's such a hard environment. My YouTube channel is 7 years old as of a couple of weeks ago. Up until about 2.5 years ago, I lived in Ohio, which did not allow online slots at that time when I was living there. And so there was really no opportunity to get on and try anything. But now I live in Nevada and there's some protections here. So I may show online slots, but it is very different. And mostly the first thing, but maybe the last thing I would want to say is don't do it. Yeah. As Henry says.
And it's always best to do it sparingly if you are going to do it. That's really how you're setting yourself up for the most success. Is the less you play, the better off it's going to be. You have to wait, 6 months in between playtime. No, not necessarily, but if you're logging in every day and you're playing playing every single day, you are going to be guaranteed, especially if it's in the same casino, you're going to guarantee that they're going to be taking your money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they'll be happy to do it.
Yes. Thank you, Henry. You've been great. I am. We've had a few questions, and this is a good thing to do. So I will move on to the next segment of the show. Again, thanks so much. And is that a blue sky behind you? That's wonderful.
That is the blue Virginia sky behind me. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you living on the show and able to share some of my story. Again, I think it is important that people hear the truth and I want them to understand that, especially if they are struggling with it, that there is a reason why this is happening. I mean, this isn't just because you have bad luck. I don't think it has anything really to do with luck anymore.
Yeah,
Again,
the more I think about this, it's millions of dollars being made by each casino, and they are working it hard, and that is fine by them. But that's why it's not just online slots. There's a money to be made, and as long as the people don't stop going. I mean, this goes back more than 100 years to Charles Fay making slot machines fun to play. It could be 3% winning, and nobody likes that. That's just terrible. So he said, well, how about we give 3% profit instead of 97% profit to the people who own slot machines, and then it became a whole thing. And it's basically been there from the beginning. It wouldn't be popular if all you did was lose money, just zeroed it out, and it's like, what am I even doing here? But the chance of a win is, they're working it hard. Thank you, Henry. Have a good day. I hope you're wearing sunscreen. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye. This is my website. I have a website, podcast, YouTube channel, TikTok for as long as TikTok is around. And so if you go to courses.professorslots.com, you'll see that there is something called Slots Labs. My fundamental course, foundational course, which you get free with it, is 30 days to play slots smarter and win. I've also just started my Slots IQ community. There's two of them, silver tier and gold tier. Gold tier is silver tier with a weekly Zoom meeting. So feel free to add to that. The first month is free on both. And so if you go to Slots Labs, the next Slots Labs is starting Monday. It'll be our introductory meeting. The first session starts in 2 weeks from Monday, because a week from Monday is Memorial Day. And so that's why, 2 days is when it starts. But if you wanted to join, it shouldn't be a problem, other than would introduce you. And there is, remember, there is a coupon for this, which I'm doing this time. You are special 888 to get half off, and don't forget to use that.